thing is though, if all footballers warmed up like athletes, you would never get injured.
They'll be stronger, man.
Yeah, and you would barely get injured.
So why don't they?
It's difficult, man.
It's not difficult. It's football. Football's the problem in that. In terms of the people in the building don't want to. Sports science is everything to them, as in just sports science. Oh no, it says to do this, so we're gonna do this by the book. We've been doing this, and people that have been in football, they know what footballers warm up. Open up the groins, close the groins, kick your leg out 1-2 times, stretch if you want to. Yeah, I feel like they're stuck in their way of not wanting to adhere to what's actually the thing that we are athletes at the end of the day.
Because I thought it would be like maybe something that will just affect how you play football to an extent. Like if you're doing one sport, just say when you're young, you'll either be told this sport could affect this sport, for instance.
I don't think that's true though.
What, in any sport in general?
When they say that sport could affect this sport, I grew up, and I think we all grew up playing all sports, and I feel like every sport I've played has benefited me in one way or another in my football career.
Fair.
I feel like athletics is the foundation for everything.
Because everything comes off the base of athletics.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking in terms of maybe how like your body might react to something. Like say for instance gymnastics and football.
But you need it.
Like, but if you're doing like gymnastics in terms of the actual vaults and flips,
right,
and stuff like that.
But I'd say like,
because I used to do gymnastics, and when I was going ham with gymnastics, it's not that it was affecting my football, but I just felt I was like I was tired a bit quicker, if that made sense. Like my body just felt more fatigued for some reason.
But do you not feel it enhanced you in certain other ways in football though? In terms of your flexibility to
I
do
feel
certain
like
things?
It was the other way around because of the way I played football from early.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it helped my gymnastics, like say the floor
explosiveness.
Work. Yeah, the flamboyant part of the floor work, and maybe the explosiveness. Maybe it should have helped the other way, but obviously gymnastics, I just kind of just walked into it by off chance. We're doing it PE.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty decent, and then went to gymnastics competition, etc. and stuff like that. But then like. Maybe I just thought it wasn't a long-term thing in that sense. So
that's an interesting perspective because
I've always wondered, like in terms of certain sports, if they'll completely like opposed to your body doing another sport in that sense. So,
but do you know what? That's an interesting point because where I played like table tennis growing up, it helps with footwork.
Yeah,
you get what I mean? Where I played rugby when I went to secondary school. It helps with that toughness in a certain
I feel like those
way,
kind of sports all kind of
mesh into one.
Yeah.
Even like, because I did gymnastics growing up.
Yeah.
Swimming, like those sort of things, they help with like cardiovascular, triple jump, all them sorts that help with the impacts you're taking on your body when you're like jumping and landing in football, your change of direction. Like I feel like people put a lot of emphasis into play one sport, do one thing. But if you do everything, I feel like it's gonna have to benefit you in some way, shape, or form in another sport.
Yeah,
because the best athletes,
it will give you a better edge.
Yeah,
but whether or not that better edge is what made you great, it's hard to measure.
I feel like it just gives you like some form of an X factor or something that someone else hasn't got.
But isn't that what everyone's looking for?
Yes, but. Is that beneficial for some people, say long term for their like? Let me just use Odell Beckham as an example. They state him as like one of the best naturally gifted athletes in America because he can do everything.
Right.
But like he's also been hampered with a lot of injuries, a lot of serious injuries compared to others in his position who aren't as skilled as him, but they're reaping the Hall of Fame careers. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying whether there's no right, because I genuinely don't know if it's right or wrong, but maybe because he's too skilled at everything, for instance, has that affected his football or the way his body handles him, like all the impacts, etc., all that stuff? Because he's had 2 or 3 ACLs, isn't it? And stuff like that. Whereas
that's tough.
You just say Tyreek Hill, he was just straight sprinting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But.
No,
it's a good question.
I genuinely don't know, but I always just think like when certain aspects in it.
It's a good question. I just think for myself personally, I think if I didn't play every sport growing up, I wouldn't be how I am in my football career.
No,
now.
that I 100% agree. Because, like, when I was playing football, or just my analysis of other sports is just be like, all right, this person's shifty in their sport. Let's see how I can try and implement it in football and stuff like that.
That's the thing. Because if like Tyreek Hill couldn't kick a football, like you can't kick football, you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But like if he could kick football, you know how to use him on a football pitch. He'd just be the winger that just darts in behind. And
Or
you get what
striker over the top.
Yeah, you could never
Place
catch
the
him.
power.
Like, but like when
It works.
there's certain people that, and you watch football all the time, and you can see the people that could only play football. Like when you watch football on the TV, you're like, yeah, I know he didn't play any other sport, and if I threw a ball at him, he probably couldn't catch it. Do you get what? You can see those type of footballers, but then you can see those footballers on the pitch, like Jamal Musiala. You feel like this, the way they move, the way their body moves. I feel like you're good at any sport if you go and choose to play it. Do you get what I mean?
I feel like it's different with certain sports, though. It's like, just say the strong American sports, for instance. I feel like we could play them not better, but we could play them better than they could play football. If that makes sense.
They can't. None of them have. None of them can
That's
kick a
because
ball.
they never played any other sport
Yeah, but we.
using feet.
But you
I
remember,
hear it as well, but
half of the people in the NFL can't catch.
yeah,
Like 90% of the NFL cannot catch a football. You know,
It's
they
just-
don't need hand-eye coordination.
yeah,
Just play some power.
Yeah, they just need to be strong and have good hand placement and good footwork. You know, when they say, "Oh, they're the elite of the elite athletes," I sometimes look and say,
I think they mean that in the sense of like
Physically.
they're testing, the
has to be physically.
the jumping,
Oh,
all that
okay.
stuff.
Because
That I
the
completely
combine is
understand.
crazy.
Yeah,
that is true. But in terms of like their technical skills,
it's like speed, the streamer.
That combine bench.
that's ridiculous though. Like they're pushing 100 kg,
And they're
you
pushing
know,
100 kg.
Yeah.
40, 50 times.
You know, speed, the streamer.
Yeah.
Bro, he's a crazy athlete.
Yeah, just the way he jumps.
Like,
Oh yeah, the way he does a backflip and all
Did you
that.
even jump over his
The
Ferrari's
car,
car
yeah.
the other day? Bro, it was nuts. His dad's driving at him like
Mm-hmm.
at very good speed, and he fully jumps over. And he's shown it in all his backflips and
Yeah.
everything. And people are like, oh, why don't you play a specific sport? I'm like, bro, it's different when you're actually, like you're saying, not everyone can catch, for instance, all that kind of stuff. So
No, sports is
it's
interesting.
definitely something I want to look into more, though. Like, see if certain sports affect other sports in a negative way. I know it does in a positive way, but in a
Yeah,
negative
it just
way.
depends which sport you put up against
Yeah.
each other.
Because-
Because there will be some negative translations along the way, but just depends which ones in particular you wanna dive into.
Because even if I could even say like Formula One's a motorsport, but say you took a Formula One driver that could kickball, the vision and the reaction time you have to have there would work
Yeah, their reaction
on a
times
football pitch.
Because I think they even showed
Yeah, they've got to move to
the Miami Grand Prix. Tyreek Hill was doing reaction time, I think, with Pierre Gasly. I
Oh,
might
with the
be wrong.
balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tyreek Hill was actually good at it, but nothing compared to that. It might have been Gasly.
Yeah, it was,
As an
yeah.
actual F1 driver.
Yeah, it's different, man. It's different.
It's nuts.
That's the thing.
So, like
Like, as you said, I
But I
would
love
want to
the
see.
elite,
I would want to see what changes negative. What
I
sport
think
would
the
affect
negative
something negatively?
aspect is what I want to know more.
Because I can't see many.
I can.
What would you? What if there was 3 sports that you'd say if football from a football perspective? Let's say football because we all know football.
I feel like football kind of just incorporate, like you can pick up
Incorporates
anything, like in any other sport. You can somehow benefit in football.
Okay, what's a sport that you couldn't?
What, a sport that you couldn't benefit from if you're a footballer?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
A sport that you couldn't benefit from? Maybe weightlifting.
To what extent, though? Because you know that explosive power.
Yeah, but it's for 1 rep. It's not over time.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because they're training for 1 rep. Whereas football, it's more for endurance.
But with that, you know, like jumpers and that sort of stuff, like, and yourself sprinters and that sort of stuff, you man can 1 rep, very very high weight. Like if when you see athletes train, bro, in the gym, they can throw 180 above their heads and just it's clean. Do you get what I mean? Whereas in footballers, we don't train that way to obviously. But if we did train that way, it's not gonna not help us. I don't think because we
over
go
90 minutes.
But deeper, we go in the gym and do squats, bro.
But that's the thing, though. I feel like,
but not to the intensity.
yeah, I feel like with football training or for those kind of things, when you were mentioning like the whole sports science, I feel like they limit it for a specific reason, like so it doesn't affect, like you're not overcooked for the 90 minutes.
I get that, but I feel like when you're moving weights faster, you're moving faster. When I was taught to squat. Well, not taught to squat. I was taught to squat before I went to Paddy's. But when Paddy's was saying, "Oh, we want you to squat like this," it was always slow. You get what I mean? We want to see, your technique and this and that. Whereas when later in life, or when I was taught to squat, it was everything's about speed, getting off the ground, moving. Like you don't ever want to be slow on a football pitch. So you want to be. If you're moving the weight quickly, you're gonna move quickly. So I feel like that's where
moving quickly comes at a cost, though. Then that's when you're talking about the energy stores and all of that. Over 90 minutes, you don't want to be talking about that.
But it's when you're using that one explosive. Those explosive reps. You're using them to move quickly when you're like 1-on-1. You're using it to beat the man there. That's where you're using your explosive power. You're not using it all the time because half the time we're walking around, jogging, getting into shape. Those weightlifting things, I feel like will benefit you in certain places. I don't think they could hinder you. That's my opinion anyway. But where do you feel?
I think it can affect agility, moving from one place to another.
Because you're always.
I feel like that's why footballers, they don't do overweight sessions, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
We push what we can.
Yeah.
And some men don't, but we push what we can. And
so,
yeah, weightlifting definitely.
Look into this shit. Do you know what I mean?
If I was to pick another. Nah, I can't even think of one right now. I'll probably say rugby.
Nah, I wouldn't. Rugby, what doesn't benefit you? I say it has.
Not if you're a footballer.
I say I'm different with that one. I say it's had a huge benefit on my football career.
Nimble feet and all that.
Just due to the movement, the vision, the formations of the game, like. From a football perspective, I felt like it helped me pick up other sports so quick. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, easy. But I think that's probably the way I play football. Like, I can't speak for everyone else, and it was kind of my game in that sense. So it's like, if you but made me play a sport I wasn't quite familiar with. When I was younger, I used to pick them up fairly quick.
Yeah.
And that was because, like, rugby, when we used to do that, like, it was second nature, innit? Do you know what I mean? It's just the actual technique
of the throw,
and all that kind of stuff. But when you're actually visualizing it, or the vision of like the field or pitch, it's different.
Yeah, like rugby formation, territory, percentages, like all of that helps in football in terms of the way. Like if you've played rugby and you know what rugby is, you understand why. Like sometimes you see them booting it all the time. You understand why they're doing it, and you see it more and more in football. First kickoff, where's the ball always go? Always goes back and they boot it into the corner. It's a rugby move, bro. That's what they do in rugby. They kick it to the corner to play in that percentage, gain advantage over there.
Like some coaches when younger, they don't mind the ball going off. Box them in. Box them in.
Because you have a higher percentage chance to get the ball back there. So that is a rugby tactic that's being used in football.
I can't think of any others then.
Don't worry, we'll move on to this one.
Yeah.
So we'll continue with this talk when we look into more stuff.